Quarter. We're going to take you down into the shipyards to let you see where the Titanic was made a launch from. We shall then take you further into the shipyards. We shall then be turning around, making our way out of the shipyards. We will then be stopping outside the Titanic Visitor Centre for anyone who wishes to go to see the Titanic Visitor Centre. Then we'll make our way back into the city centre and continue on with our tour out to southwest and north Belfast. Now we're just going to turn left into a street called Victoria Street. You've got lots of streets in Belfast named after Queen Victoria. She arrived here in 1849, but she didn't grant us our city charter until 1888. Like most women, she took a wee while to make her mind up, but we were still very pleased all the same. You've got Victoria Street, Great Victoria Street, Little Victoria Street, Victoria Square. It just goes on and on and on. She was only here for 3 hours, mind you. Thank goodness she wasn't here for a week. Otherwise, we would have named everything after her. There was a police car behind us just a few moments ago, and I'm really glad to see that he didn't have his lights and his sirens on. My wife ran off with a policeman 7 years ago, and I thought that was them bringing her back. I believe we had a birthday girl upstairs this afternoon, Joanne. Happy birthday. We won't tell everybody your age, Joanne. Only 40. That's high right there on, Joanne. Next time you see 40, it'll be in somebody's front door. Now, we're going to turn left into Victoria Street. And as we do so, as we turn into Victoria Street, I want you to look out directly in front of us, and we're going to see the Albert Memorial Clock. It's in memory of Queen Victoria's late husband, Prince Albert. The clock tower originally cost £2,000 to build, but quite recently we had to spend £2 million having the clock tower repinned at 175 feet. You'll see that the clock tower leans by about 4 feet off the perpendicular, and that's because it stands on top of the river Fistula, and the Victorian foundations have been sinking into the ground since construction. You see the statue of Prince Albert halfway up the clock, and he's dressed wearing the robes of the garter. Place the bell. Unless you're standing right beside the clock, if you're standing where we are now, you have very little chance of hearing the bell actually chime. The clock has also got 4 clock faces, none of which tell the right time. Pretty handy if you're late for work. The street beside the clock on the right hand side, halfway down that street on the right hand side, that's where you'll find McHugh's Pub, one of the oldest pubs in the city, dating back to 1711. But very unfortunately, it's not 1711 prices. And that's the little pub that my little friend Murphy drinks in. And one day, Murphy went in here for a drink, and he went missing. And he never came home. And after about 4 years, his wife thought she better report him missing. So she went down to the local police station, and she said to the police officer, I would like to report my husband missing. And he says, well, can you give me a description? Can you tell me what he looks like? And she says, yes, he's about 6'6" tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, 56-inch chest, big muscles, and a wee boy stand behind his mummy, pulled their skirt, and he says, Mummy, that doesn't sound like Daddy. And she says, who wants him back? On our tour this afternoon, we're going to hear a gentleman's name mentioned quite a bit, a gentleman called Sir Charles Lanyon. He's responsible for many of the Victorian buildings in Belfast, the likes of Queen's University, the Crumlin Road Courthouse and the jail, and also Custom House and Custom Square. We're going to see Custom House in just a few moments. Basically today, Custom Square is widely used for open-air concerts, and at Christmas time we will have a Christmas market in the square as well. As we go past the building, you will notice, if you look at the windows on the ground floor, you'll see all the bars that go around the windows, and this doubled up as Belfast's first jail for all the drunken sailors. And we'll see Custom House in just a few moments. We're also going to see coming up on the left-hand side, on the quay side of the River Lagan, we're going to see the big fish, the salmon of knowledge. Do come down later on and have a look at it. All the scales on the fish tell different stories about Belfast. And they say that if you kiss the fish, that you get a little bit of knowledge. And looking at you lot, I would say you need to kiss it quite a bit, as you do look rather thick to me. Don't worry, I am going to insult each and every. You can see the bars and the windows on the ground floor that doubled up as Belfast's first jail for all the drunken sailors. Then on the left-hand side, you'll see the big fish, the salmon of knowledge. Keep looking down to the left-hand side, and you'll see the footbridge that takes you over the River Lagan. Do come down at night time when all the lights from underneath the footbridge shine right across to the Queen Elizabeth Bridge. It's a little bit like Paris at night time. Yeah, right, if you close your eyes. Underneath the footbridge, you'll see the tidal wave barrier that was installed 13 years ago at a cost of just over £14 million. It has cleaned the river up so much. If you look to the right-hand side, you'll see the waterfront hall, the Hilton Hotel, brand new apartments, over £750 million worth of investment has been brought into this part of the city since the river has been cleaned up. Now as we make the turn, look out directly in front of us, we're going to see the Odyssey Arena. Inside here we have the W5, who, what, where, when and why, hands-on action, science for children, very good so it is. Many restaurants, cinemas, bars, nightclubs, 10-pin bowling, and at the very end of the building we have our very own 13,000 sitting arena. We get all the big pop stars coming here now, the likes of Rod Stewart, Elton John, Dolly Parton. It's also home to our ice hockey team, the Belfast Giants. We were going to call them the Belfast Bombers, but that didn't go down too well. And you can see how good we are. If you look over the wall, coming up on our left, there's usually one or two of us. We quite recently just spent £9 million having it completely restored. And if you have any interest in the Titanic whatsoever, that little ship to our left, the SS Nomadic, is a must visit while you're here in the city. Directly in front of us, the large silver building that is the Titanic Visitor Centre. I recommend a minimum of 1.5 to 2 hours on saying that you can easily spend the whole day inside the Titanic Visitor Centre. We will be stopping outside it in just a few minutes. Directly in front of us, the red brick building that is now the Titanic Hotel, but at one time that used to be the drawing office of Holland and Wolff. It's inside this building that Thomas Andrews would have sat in the bottom drawing rooms, and he would have looked out the back of this building and watched as the Titanic was being constructed. Just past the drawing office on the left-hand side, you'll see all the steel beams sticking up out of the ground. They go around the two concrete slipways, number 3 and number 4. There originally used to be 28 slipways in this area, but that's all that's left to this day. The one closest to us is where the Titanic was launched from. The one furthest away from us is where her sister ship, the Olympic, was launched from. To give you an idea of the size of the Titanic, she was just over 900 feet in length. She was 95 feet wide. She weighed 36,000 tons. She was driven by 3 massive bronze propellers, each propeller 23 feet in diameter, and each propeller weighing just over 5 tons in weight. So it gives you an idea of how big the Titanic actually was. Now we're just going to turn here in the turning circle, and as we do so, you can't help but notice the 2 big large yellow cranes, Samson and Goliath. They straddle the world's largest dry dock. That dry dock can accommodate any ship afloat in the world today. Samson stands at 96 meters tall. Goliath stands at 110 meters tall. If necessary, they can lift 830 tons each. The red box on top of the crane that used to be the canteen for the workers of sales in Europe at that particular time. And yes, ladies, I did buy one of those penthouses on the top floor, all of it. And if any of the ladies would like to call round tonight for a glass of champagne, please feel free to do so. And you should see the apartment, ladies. It's got absolutely everything. It's got a big 55-inch plasma TV. It's got 3-inch thick tile carpets. It's got leather reclining seats. It's got one of those big American fridge freezers, but there's something wrong with the washing machine. I'm going to have to get a plumber out to look at the washing machine. I put 6 shirts in the other day, pulled the chain, haven't seen one of them since. Look across to the right-hand side, and in the skyline, you can see the big glass dome that goes around the brand new Victoria Shopping Centre. You can, of course, go up to the top of the glass dome. There's a lift. It's free of charge, and on a nice day, you do have some very spectacular views overlooking the city. But before that building was there used to be one of the tallest buildings in Belfast was here. And what did they do with it? They brought in English contractors to do what? To blow it up. Now, you think about it, folks. What a waste of local talent. I mean, all they had to do was go to any bar in Belfast and say, right lads, there's a wee job here for you to do. Number 1, we could have done it for nothing, and 2, we could have done it in the dark, and it would have looked perfectly normal. Now look out to the front right-hand side, you'll see the large white building. That is the old High Courts here in Belfast. The wall that we can see that goes around the outside of the building, that was added back in 1972, often considered the worst year of the Troubles. And that wall will reflect that it is a blast-proof wall, and it is 4 feet thick of reinforced steel and concrete. What's going to happen to the courthouse now that it's closed? It's for you guys. It's going to be turned into a luxury 5-star hotel. I think it would make a great hotel if we ever have members of the royal family or American president staying here with his blast-proof wall and his bulletproof windows. That's the courthouse, just immediately to our right. Look down to the left-hand side, and we can see St. George's Market, open every Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And in St. George's Market, you can get anything from a safety pin to a ship's anchor. Live music, great food in here as well. So if you're here over the weekend, St. George's Market is a must visit while you're here in the city. Now we're going to see coming up here on the right hand side, we're going to see the City Hall, first opened its doors back in 1906. You can of course go into the City Hall. The tours are free of charge, Monday to Sunday, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Here on our right hand side. The next large white building on the right hand side, just past the City Hall, that is now the headquarters of Danske Bank, but at one time that used to be the headquarters of the Northern Bank. And you might be able to remember 10 years ago there was a little bank robbery took place here where £26 million went missing without a single gunshot being fired. But even the English, they couldn't let us be the biggest bunch of thieves. They had to go one better with a £55 million robbery in the south of England in Kent. But there's a wee friend of mine and myself, we're having a look at a bank here tonight behind the City Hall, and hopefully tomorrow morning we'll be making our way out towards the Bahamas. But whatever you do, don't be telling the police you knew it was us. Give us a wee head start to let us get away. And if anybody would like a souvenir from your trip to Belfast, at the end of the tour, I will be selling £20 notes for a fiver.
Morning, McKinley, springs to mind.
On the Euro brick one, 1972, there was a £500 car bomb went off here, practically destroying the whole side of the Opera House. This is not a joke. Guess what was being shown in the Opera House when the bomb went off? I'll start it and you guys can finish it. Chitty chitty, bang bang. Laurel and Hardy started their career off at the Opera House. It also started life out as a circus. That's why if you go into it, look up at the ceiling, you will see all the animals' heads, the elephants, the lions, and the tigers. Nice little coffee shop inside the Opera House as well. And we'll see the Opera House when we get through these traffic lights here. And that's the Grand Opera House coming up here on our right-hand side. Coming up on the left-hand side, we're going to see the Crown Bar. Even if you don't drink alcohol, go in and have a look. It's got the world's longest marble bar. It has its own private drinking booth. Gwen, close the door. People can't hear what you're talking about. It doesn't have electricity. It runs off gas lights. And that's what gives us out, boys, a wee head start. Because you girls can't see what we look like. And we just shovel pints of Guinness into you. The Crown Bar is now owned by the National Trust. Great food, great pint of Guinness in there as well. And now I want you to look out to the front left-hand side, and in the skyline you can see the large grey building. That has been voted the ugliest building anywhere in the whole of Ireland. 38 years of troubles, and nobody ever thought to stick one underneath that one. The university has got 25,000 students attending the university, with some 3,000 foreign students attending the university as well. Queen's University has got 5 Nobel Prize Peace winners, one of those of course being the poet, Rene-i, and of course the politician, David Trimble, now Lord David Trimble of Liston Garvey. That's Queen's University, just immediately to our left. You can, of course, walk into the front gates, walk past the War Memorial, walk into the front door, turn left, and that will bring you into the Norton Art Gallery. It has been voted one of the best art galleries anywhere in the whole of Europe. I was in it a few days ago, and I've been in some art galleries in my time, and I've never seen one as good as this one, with the added advantage of free admission. So we're just going to stop here. If anyone would like off from Queen's University, the Botanical Gardens or the Ulster Museum. If anyone would like off here for Queen's University, the Botanical Gardens or the Ulster Museum, this is your stop. Here you're interested in could be football, Gaelic football sport happens to be. These would be two of the best sporting bars to actually visit. Each bar has got about 10 or 12 plasma TVs in them, and so you can go in and watch whatever sport you might be interested in. Now, can I just ask if anyone is sitting, if anyone is sitting on the open top section of the bus, please be aware of the overhanging branches of the trees. There's one here in particular, I call it Special Branch. Sorry, but you have to be from Northern Ireland to get that one. It might hit you a slap in the beak and take you on for some questioning. Now, being so close to Queen's University, you can easily tell this is where all the students live. If you look down either side of the bus, you'll see all the bins need emptied, the edges need cut, the blinds need pulled up, and if you're easily offended, just look out directly in front of us, because these students know exactly what time these big tour buses come along at, and they do tend to flash naughty little things out the windows at us. So if you're easily offended, just look out directly in front of us. If you're not easily offended, ladies, you'll find your binoculars underneath your seats. Third window on the left, ladies. Gentlemen, second window on the right hand side. There she is, quick, quick! Oh, for goodness sake, she's done it again. She's just pulled the curtains. Act up here. Act well, gentlemen. Maybe next time round. Now, to give you an idea of the price of the houses, in this part of the city, you'll be talking round about £300,000 upwards. Who lives up here? Only the extremely well off. This is where you get all your doctors, your lawyers, your judges, your tour guides, all those sort of people living up here. Now, we're just coming up to this part of the tour, and I don't like this part of the tour one bit, and I don't care who hears me. I absolutely hate this part of the tour, but I have to do it anyway. So, let's get on with it. By any chance, this afternoon, have I got anybody on board from England? Clap your feet, stamp your hands, make a lot of noise, let me hear you. Yay! That's more like it. Let's liven this tour up a little bit. Just about to sicken you up. Guess what's coming up next? We're going to be driving past Windsor Park, home to the Northern Ireland football team. And this is where Northern Ireland absolutely trashed England. Can you remember the score? Yeah, that's right. I'm not surprised you've gone quiet. Well, no. Of course, we're not going to go on too much about this. We're only a wee bunch of amateurs, and you're a bunch of professionals. What was it? Was it Germany? No, definitely not. No, it wasn't Germany. Was it France? No, definitely not. No, what was the name of that wee country? Oh, yes, that's right. It's coming back to me now. Italy. What was the score in that match? What? Can't hear you? That's right, 1-0. And here, what was that stupid song? Yes, we're all singing, we're bringing it home, we're bringing it home, it's coming home. Yeah, right. The only thing you guys are taking home with you is a fish supper. Now, if you look across to the left-hand side, there you will see the floodlights and the stands of Windsor Park. We're not Brazil, we're Northern Ireland. We're not Brazil, we're Northern Ireland. Come on, join it. We're not Brazil, we're Northern Ireland. But it's all the same to me. 1-0. Oops, very sorry. I forgot the microphone was still switched off. Now, if you look out directly in front of us, you can see the the bottom of the mount, you can see the houses. That is West Belfast. That's where we're heading for next. Take about another 5 minutes to get there, just depending very much on the traffic and the weather conditions. Now where we are at the moment in South Belfast is 100% Protestant. In just a moment we're going to see a very large motorway and a roundabout, and this motorway and this roundabout acts as a divide between the two communities. This is what we call an interface part of the city. When I say interface, this is where Catholics and Protestants live in a very close proximity to each other. There are 76 interface areas in Belfast alone. Not nowadays, but during the dark days of our troubles, it would have been practically on a daily basis for gun battles to take place across this roundabout. And again, very sadly, many people from both sides of our communities lost their lives at this roundabout. That's the roundabout just coming up here in front of us. We're now just about to leave South Belfast, and we are now coming into West Belfast. We're now going to take you over to let you see Frank Andrews, who worked in the hospital. That is the man who invented the portable defibrillator. If anyone is ever unfortunate enough to have a heart attack, that's the machine the doctors use to give your heart an electric shock to try and get it going again. Something we are very proud of here at Belfast, because practically every ambulance throughout the world today carries the portable defibrillator. Now we're going to see, it'll be coming up here on the left-hand side. We're going to see the view for the Easter Rising of Dublin of 1916. You'll see that in just a moment. So just look to the left-hand side, and now you'll see the view for the Easter Rising of Dublin of 1916. As I said, you can see the GPO, the General Post Office in O'Connell Street in Dublin. You can see the next one is for 6 members of the INLA, the Irish National Liberation Army, that lost their lives during the Troubles. The next one is for the Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939. The next two are for the Third World. The next two are for the Irish language. The one there for the Falls Road curfew of the early 1970s. The one there for solidarity between prisoners of war, between Palestine and Israel. You'll see the prisoners shaking hands through their prison cells. You've got a climatized change mural on the very last one before the peace gates is Frederick Douglass. He stopped the slave trade coming into Ireland. You can see the gates in front of us. You're now just leaving the heartland of the Falls Road through the next set of gates. You're now in the heartland of the Shankill Road. You're down to the right-hand side. You'll see how quickly the murals change. You'll see one there to remember the men from the 36th Ulster Division that lost their lives at the Battle of the Somme, the 1st of July, 1916.